be mended, the dishes put away. The day was good, the work was hard, and at the end of day, I'm sitting.
I stumbled across your music recently on social media, and it stopped me dead in my tracks when I heard it. It is so personal, it is so well written, and it's obvious that you have had a lot of journeys in your life. You started out in Italy and then you came over to the United States, and the way that you share your music with us, it really represents all of those journeys. And you can tell there are so many different influences to what you do. And it's a great ride that we know that our viewers are going to love to be on. Tell us a little bit about you and how you started out and what got you here.
Um, well, first of all, thank you again for having me here, and I thank you for discovering my music and listening to it so closely. Your comment is very flattering, and it's very true. There's so many influences, in my life, in my songs, my music. I came to the U.S. in 2000, so it's been 20 years, and pretty much in New York the whole time. And I grew up in Turin, Torino, up in the Northwest, and somewhat also in Rome, where my father is from. I consider myself coming from both cities. My grandma is there, actually. We go every summer. And that's actually where I recorded my newest album. It's in Rome. So it was an interesting choice to do that. But it was so powerful because it was almost like things coming full circle. Being away for 20 years and then choosing to record this album in Rome with an Italian producer in where my father comes from, and my father is my biggest influence in my music, meaning that is the one who pushed me to sing and play guitar. And also this album is all in English, and I recorded it in Italy with an Italian producer, so
That's irony at its best.
yes. And I had, it's interesting how, that came about. I was actually planning on recording the album here in New York. I'm in New York. I wanted a New York producer. And I happened to travel to Italy, and I needed to also renew my visa. But I got stuck there because there was such delay, at immigration, that I couldn't travel back. I had to cancel my trip, and I was supposed to stay 6 weeks. I ended up staying 8 months, so it was just a complete change of course in my life.
That's a big change.
Yes. And also, my visa was actually approved halfway through this period, and I decided to stay longer because at that point I had met this producer, Daniele. And we met at a fancy dinner party, remember? I happen to have some friends in Rome that are connected to the film industry. It's not because I come from it, it's just because I met some people in New York who know, other people. And so I ended up being at this party, and it was so much fun. And Daniele was there. We started talking, and this friend really wanted us to meet. And he was there with his girlfriend, and the three of us just really connected on a personal level. Things we're interested in. And so he got curious and wanted to listen to my music, and so invited me over to his studio. And Daniele is an amazing producer who worked for all the biggest record companies in Italy, Universal, Sony, but now he has his own studio. He wants to produce independent artists. He's choosing to work with projects, for projects he really likes. And so I went over, I played my songs with my guitar, and he was like, oh, these are great. And he's a very honest, direct person. He wouldn't tell you, he wouldn't want to just flatter you. And so he gave me some comments that were really like the chords I was using, that he really liked the chords. And I use all these open chords. Sometimes people I reminded of Johnny Mitchell when I play, because my high pitched voice and the chords I use, not that Johnny Mitchell, like, whoa, super duper genius, you know, but there's something that
Yes.
reminds me of her. And I think it's these open chords, you know. And anyway, he loved the songs, and we decided to record one song, try it out. And when I came back to New York and I kept listening to this master, I was like, this is it. It's brilliant. I love his work. And so I decided to put my life on hold again in New York for another 8 months and go back to Italy, record the
Wow.
album. It didn't take 8 months to record the album, but you know, there was a lot of prep time. And also he was amazing. Like, he spent extra time we just had a blast recording. Like, it was the best time of my life. We just were two creative kids, you know, with no pressure from anyone to do anything that we didn't like.
That sounds wonderful. And it sounds like you guys were really speaking the same language right from jump, which is so important when you're working on a project like this.
Yeah. And we spoke the same language musically. He pushed me. I'm more of a guitar player. I play piano, but he wanted me to record the pianos, except for one song that was more complex, and he got an amazing arranger and piano player on it. And then I played all the keys, all the synths. Is like
That's
me,
cool.
just kind of, and I was like a kid, and it's like, oh, I try this. I never felt this energy on a daily basis for months. It was just kind of a dream. It was a dream.
That's wonderful. And it comes through in the project. There's 9 tracks on Love Shine, right?
Yes. My first single, so that's out. Was released in November. Let's Take It Slow, and that was written with Brad Roberts. I don't know if you know Brad Roberts. The name won't tell you anything, but he was the lead singer of the Crash Test Dummies.
Oh, yeah.
The 80s band, and it was just so funky how we met here in New York. It was just so crazy, and we came up with this song. We started writing together, and because it was for a TV show, for a pilot,
Okay.
a TV show in New Orleans about slow food. And funny enough, I'm from the region where the slow food movement comes from, and
Okay.
my cousin actually knows the founders. So this whole thing, like, my life is full of these coincidences, quote unquote. And so anyway, we needed to write this song for this pilot about, it was a chef from New Orleans who was doing the show. And so Let's Take It Slow. And then the song, the show never got picked up, but the song stayed. So it's quite a few years old, and it's finally recorded and released after this whole time.
I love the song. We're actually going to share it with our viewers in a little bit now that you've got a video out with it. But when I first heard the song, it was funny. I found myself doing this kind of like swagger groove thing, and you know, I'm working around the house, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then when I tune into the video, because I'm just listening to the song, I didn't even watch the video right away. And then when I tune into the video, I see you walking in the video. I'm like, that's exactly what I was just doing in my kitchen.
Oh,
it's
man.
got such a great feel to it, you know.
It's very happy. It's kind of like, and I love the director did such a great job, and it was so easy to work with him. And he just...
Well, that video, I mean, you come across with your live feeds. You do a lot of live feeds on Facebook, and you're really good about connecting with your audiences in the States and also overseas. What I loved right away, and we had talked about this earlier privately, is that, you know, your personality and your joy and your enthusiasm and your emotions just come through. They leap off of the computer screens and into our homes. And the video shows that, you know, even if you didn't like the song, you love the song because it's just joy, and that can't be bad.
Oh,
I happen to love the song, but it's well done because it just shows you. No air, no, you know, no fake anything, no extra sprinkles on top. It's you, and it's just glorious. We really, really hope that everybody checks you out online, supports what you're doing. You got a new fan here. You're stuck with me for a while. I'm so happy that we got to spend this time together and that our viewers got to meet you. Thank you so much for having a good talk with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure to meet you.
The fences have been mended, the dishes put away. The day was good, the work was hard, and now the end of day. I'm sitting on my porch front, I've had a glass or two. The sun is sinking one more time, got nothing else to do. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. Come on, let it go. Come on, sit beside me. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. Come on, let it go. Come on, sit beside me. The birds are high up in their nests, tomorrow they will sing. Now the stars poke out the sky, and I can't hear a thing. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. Come on, let it go. Come on, sit beside me. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. Come on, let it go. Come on, sit beside me. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. There's always time to work, maybe not much to rest. But if you don't watch out, I bet you may forget to take it slow. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. Come on, let it go. Come on, sit beside me. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. Come on, let it go. Come on, sit beside me. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy. Come on, let it go. Come on, sit beside me. Let's take it slow, let's take it easy.
We are going to take a quick break, and we ask that you grab yourself a snack. Get some coffee, get a cookie maybe, because coming up next, we are introducing you to Morgan Kelly, and she makes the most amazing treats possible, and we're going to be enjoying them, and we feel a little guilty if you're not going to be too.
Get those snacks, you'll thank us.
this is Motorcycle Mike, the personal injury lawyer. I've been riding motorcycles my entire adult life. During the course of my 30-year career as a lawyer, I've also represented countless injured motorcyclists. If you're one of them, I can be of assistance to you. Go to my website, please, motorcyclemikeesq.com. I'll always be there for you. I'm on your side when you ride.
Joe DeJesu, our original artist of the week from Good Talk TV show Season 1, has a brand new release available that you want to download on all of your digital media platforms. Another Sacrifice is the highly anticipated follow-up single to Cry and Miss Maybe, released in 2019. Joe is also the host of Jam Acoustic Mondays on Govs Radio. Please follow Joe DeJesu Music on Facebook and Instagram and download Another Sacrifice today.
God knows what we've done. Doesn't matter what we do.
Everybody has your beverage, right? Cheers, partner.
Cheers.
So we want to tell you about the Kelly Cookie Jar. Kelly Cookie Jar is on Instagram, and it is the brainchild of Morgan Kelly. She makes cookies that are larger than your hand in the most amazing flavors, and proceeds of every sale goes to kids in need. So we decided to have a little fun with this, and I have had these cookies. My family's had these cookies. Our second order of cookies we decided to share with Don.
Okay.
I'm going to try it with you, even though I know, because I can.
Yes, you can. Let's see. Here we go. Detect a little bit of sweetness, but not overkill. I like it.
Yep, me
Tasty.
too.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot, looks like there's a lot going on with this one.
There's a lot going on with this one. Well, this is number 2.
When I'm holding this cookie, like it's the size of a cookie. It's very thick. The cookie that we got from the Kelly Cookie Jar, we cut in 4 separate pieces. This is only one.
Mm.
I love Cookie Day.
This is a great day. Very delicious. I'm detecting big time Oreo flavor.
Coming up, we will be talking to Morgan Kelly. This is all her idea, and she makes these fresh, and the flavors, there are so many different flavors. You can see them all represented on Instagram.
So far, I haven't disliked anything. It's tasty. A hint of nice sweetness. It's kind of like a hot chocolate cookie.
What's everybody else snacking on? Post in the comments. I said feel a little guilty because this is so good.
So this is coffee flavored?
So this is espresso chip. After I savored it a little bit, and then the second bite, it was just like an explosion of coffee. And having the chips in there and adding the smoothness of the chocolate, when that all melts, it's a lot of joy.
It's very delicious. I really like it.
So this, I just want you to take a nice big bite and tell me what does it remind you of?
That's good. It reminds me of cream cheese. Almost like a cheese.
Okay, I can understand that because of the consistency. It's so...
Yeah, it's giving me that kind of cream cheesy, like years ago, my grandmother used to do this date nut loaf, and we put cream cheese on it, and that's what I'm getting from this. I'm getting that old, moist, tasty, pretty darn good.
I'm stuffing you up this morning.
Oh my God. Thank goodness. This is my first meal of whatever. Well, we have plenty what time this is. Yes, it is. It's 12:50. Now I'm feeling Rice Krispie marshmallow treat, so I'm getting marshmallow. Yeah. Okay.
S'mores.
Wow.
There are so many different flavors that are going on. It's like you're drawn to one and then you're drawn to another and then you're confused and you're not sure which way to go. And then once you realize what it is, you're like, oh, nailed it.
This is huge. It's like cake.
That's the thickness. And again, keep in mind, this is a quarter of a cookie. Now, as you can see, there's a filling with this one, and there are actually 2 cookies. It's like a joyous cookie sandwich. And when you're ordering them, she sells them in lots of 4. So when you're ordering the double cookies, that counts as 1. He's already in.
Jim. I text cinnamon cannoli. Wow. That's cool.
Right? Now you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Crazy the flavors that she's been able to come up with. We love that she is really trying to make a difference with kids all over the United States. So I think we're going to finish our coffee and finish our plate, and we're going to go right to our interview with Morgan Kelly.
That was a fun assignment. I want to sign up for another one of those.
That was a good one, right? Thank you so much to our viewers for sending us information just like this. If you have any suggestions for any shows or any food that you know we're going to love, please email us, goodtalktvshow@gmail.com.
This was really cool. I can't wait. Maybe next week they'll send us pizza info.
I think we can do pizza.
I can definitely sample pizza.
You are obviously in for a really special sweet treat now that you just saw everything that Don and I consumed for breakfast. Morgan Kelly from the Kelly Cookie Jar. We are really excited about everything that you have been doing with your baked goods, how delicious they are, and also that you are working with Kids in Need Foundation to try to help and pay it forward. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with the Kelly Cookie Jar, and tell us about Kids in Need Foundation and why this is so close to your heart.
Okay, so I'm a recently certified ESL, ENL teacher, and a lot of these students who are learning English as a second language come from lower income areas where they need a lot more supports, and a lot of times, depending on the location, they don't necessarily have the funding for all of these, even just simple supplies. They might not have the access to it. So being that those students are so close to my heart, I found the Kids in Need Foundation, which actually helps support those students by giving them a full backpack full of supplies for every so many donations. And they also have an option, I believe, to donate to a teacher so she can set up her whole classroom without having the struggle, the financial burden on her or him, just to make their lives a little bit easier so that they can focus their attention on teaching rather than what they have for them.
That's incredible. I looked into the website. It's kidsinneedfoundation.org, and it's incredible. They branch out, they try to help in so many different ways. They've been around for a long time. And I love what you just mentioned about how they deal directly with the teachers. So we wanted to make sure that we were sharing this with our viewers now, because this is around the time where the teachers can submit applications directly to this organization, and they can apply for help for their classrooms for the coming school year. And that's not something that we encounter very often. And we love that it exists, and we really want to help spread the word about that. How long have you been involved with Kids in Need?
I've always known about it and always tried to donate to them when I can, just because of my nature with that type of population, and how it's great when you have the opportunity to support someone. So for the past couple of years, especially since I've been studying, I've been trying to, when I can, give my own donations with them. Just recently, when I decided what better way than to make cookies and use some of that money, other than the supplies that I need, use that to donate directly to them and help kind of bring up a whole bunch more people in touch with this great organization, but also they're getting something out of it. So it's not like forced donation. You get a nice, great cookie.
because of your cookies, I learned about the organization. It's, you set it in motion to do exactly what you did. I'm eating the cookies saying, oh yeah, let's find out what this is about. And the cookies are amazing, as we just showed. How did you decide on cookies?
So I've always been interested in baking. I'm much more of a baker than a cook. But I was actually buying cookies from another location on Long Island, and they were so good. And I was like, you know what? I think I could do stuff like this. And I think I can use them and my ability and my talents with doing them, because it was an undiscovered talent that I'm good at baking very large cookies.
Very large cookies.
Basically the size of your hand. So I decided that since I found out I was able to do this during this quarantine, when you have all this extra time that you don't really know what to do with, figured, why not use this?
Tell us, what flavors do you have available? I know my favorites, but it's
So
just impressive what you've been able to put together.
Yeah, so recently, or most of the time, I have like a traditional cookies and cream flavor filled with Oreos. I have a red velvet Oreo for those that like more of a red velvet flavor. It's my personal favorite. I do have a s'mores. I also have a funfetti for the traditional cake loving clients and customers. I believe it's your favorite, the cannoli. It's it's actually two cookies, like a cannoli chipwich kind of concept. That's what I call it. And it's amazing when
It's
frozen.
amazing. The filling on that is outrageous. Outside of even the cookies being amazing, the filling and the cookies together are just in my face. That's all. It's just, it's so good. Sorry.
No, it's good. Outside of that, I believe I didn't mention there's like a maple cinnamon. It kind of, if you warm it up at all, it smells like French toast and breakfast in your house.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I also tried, you had a cappuccino one?
Yes, it's like espresso chip. So it actually has like
Yes.
espresso chocolate chips in it, but it has this Nudge brand coffee butter also inside the cookie. So it's when that's warmed up too. If you like coffee, it's amazing.
I do. I think I have more coffee in my system than I do blood. It's just incredible what you put together. Your products are terrific. The organization is wonderful. We've got the website listed below for our viewers. We really hope that they do check out kidsinneedfoundation.org and see how they can help with getting some supplies to the kids and the teachers that need them. And we also want them to support what you are doing. The Kelly Cookie Jar is on Instagram, and you have been so popular so quickly, you just set up an Etsy page. So tell us, what's that page?
So the Etsy page, it basically gives the option for customers to choose 6 of the s'mores, 6 of the funfetti, and so on from the options listed. And they're able to be shipped directly to their house in 1 to 2 days. Typically, I get them out that day. Depending on the post office, it might be the next day, but I try to get the customers their cookies as soon as possible.
That is fantastic. Morgan, thank you so much for coming on the show, for sharing your information and telling everybody what it is that you're about. We love what you're doing. We want our viewers to support what you're about. And I'm going to go now because I'm going to go eat more cookies. So thanks for the good talk.
Yeah, no problem.
Writing a book is the adventure of a lifetime. Red Penguin Books take pride in giving our authors a publishing experience that is stress-free and celebratory all the way. Some of our authors first approach us with no more than an idea for a book that's ready to sprout. Others submit completed manuscripts. Whether you're at either end or anywhere in between, our goal is to get you published. At Red Penguin Books, we offer options and opportunities that are unique in the world of publishing, and all of them are designed to keep you, the author we so deeply respect, in the driver's seat, unlike other publishing houses. So, if you want to write a book and are looking for a publisher, we've got you covered. Red Penguin Books deal in publishing services, book development, and ghostwriting for digital, print, and audiobook. Call us at 516-448-4649 4993 or visit our website www.redpenguinbooks.com.
Because of the COVID-19 coronavirus, I was thinking with my partner Robin that kids nowadays, when they were in school, all of a sudden got forced into homeschooling. And that must have been maybe traumatic and definitely a different kind of lifestyle. So what we're able to do is I was able to get some really, really influential, sought after guests. We've been after these people forever. And I was able to score my nephews, Blake and my nephew Ricky, and we were able to get
My sister from another mister, Jessica Upham, and my nephew, Bobby. Thank you so much for joining the show.
and we're going to do a little interview, and we want to share with the world what it's like from the kids' perspective. What was it like to go from public school to a private homeschooling? Blake first.
Well, the thing is, my mom, she's a nurse, so she knew everything going on, and so she took us out of school a little earlier, so we had no schoolwork, so we had a little time to get used to being home.
Oh,
But then it just hit us. It was unstable. I didn't know what to do. Yes. When I first got it, I was working on paper. Then halfway through March, I switched to online.
okay. So that basically, what I think you're saying, it was a big adjustment. It was like a shock.
Yeah.
Okay, Ricky, how about yourself? What was it like to go from public school to private homeschooling all of a sudden?
Public schooling was a lot harder than I think homeschooling.
Yeah.
Because when homeschooling, I kind of underestimated it a little bit, and I wasn't doing that good in the beginning. But once you get the hang of it, it's much easier.
I was very happy at first, but then when I heard that I wouldn't be going back, and I thought it was gonna be like summer break at first, but then the work started to pour in, and then it just got pretty miserable.
When you first made the change, did you think that it was going to be easy or hard for you to adjust to those differences of not getting up and going to school every day and having some routines at home instead?
Well, now that it's over, this whole homeschool thing, I could just sit in my bed for however long I want and take a nice good rest, because that's homeschooling took a lot of energy out of me. Sometimes I get up at like 7:30 or 7:50.
That's sleeping in for him when we're not
I don't even do
homeschooling.
that.
Did you think it was going to be easy, the homeschooling?
I didn't quite know how I thought it was. I was just kind of doing it. I was just happy I was out of school.
Okay, that's fair. Blake, did you think it was going to be really easy when that happened, or you weren't sure?
Well, it was pretty easy. And when I first got my papers, the papers weren't that hard. When it really got hard for me is when Google Classroom came along.
Google Classroom?
Ricky that was doing Google Classroom since the beginning, so he was more used to it than me. So I had him and Daddy help me.
What would be, Ricky, the best thing about homeschooling that you would say? What's the best thing about it?
Well, you don't have to get up early.
So you got up a little bit later?
Yeah, I woke up at 9 instead of 6.
All right, so an extra 3 hours to get some Z's is not a bad thing. How about you, Blake? What was the best thing about homeschooling for you? Best?
Well, we got to see our family a lot more, since my mom was able to stay home, and my dad was starting to adjust.
Oh, so that your parents got to stay home and work from home?
Yeah, and we were able to start whenever we want, and we can stay on our own schedule instead of having a whole schedule already planned out for us.
The best thing about being able to homeschool?
So, getting to see my great mommy, getting to see my silly kitties, and getting to get something at the end of the school year gift for me. And may I tell you what I was going to get?
Lay it on me.
They're called Bakugan. Bakugan are like these transforming ball things. So you roll them onto these metal things called backcourse, and some of them flip out. Well, not go crazy.
I flip out when he buys them.
Well, some of them just like pop out and flip over, or others just you roll them and they stay the way they are, straight standing up. And then sometimes you could get this upgrade for them. It's called back gear, and it allows the back arm to become much stronger.
I think your mom is going to have to send your aunt a link about all of that stuff. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about, what do you think the worst thing was with having to make the change of you were going to school and now you weren't? What was the hardest thing for you to deal with that change?
The 6-foot rule, not seeing my friends, not seeing my teacher, not being able to go on adventures, not being able to high-five people.
You didn't get to see any of your friends and everything, and you're locked inside, and there's no interaction with anybody else.
Lonely?
Yeah, kind of.
How about you, Blake? What do you think? What was the worst thing?
You don't see your friends. School was, really. I agree with Ricky.
Okay, well, two brothers agreeing. My nephews agree. How about that? That never happens, guys. I'm telling you, that's rare. Did you guys have like a daily routine, Ricky? Did you stick to a routine with the homeschooling?
In the beginning, we had a routine that we did, like, it was like breakfast, then we had school for an hour, and we did schoolwork for an hour, then we did
lunch.
Then we had a free time for an hour, lunch for an hour, we did hour blocks, and we worked on the basement for an hour because it was a mess then, and we were working on it, then another schoolwork, then like I break, then basement again, and then another hour. So we had like 3 hours of schoolwork, 2 hours of cleaning. But that was like all paperwork and it was just starting. But after like the first 2 weeks, we came off a schedule and just started waking up at 9 o'clock and getting schoolwork done.
You settled into a routine, right, Ricky? Right, Blake?
Yeah, I wasn't really following the routine, and so it slowly started falling apart, kind of.
Yeah.
And we just stopped following it because we figured it's easier to stay to our own schedule. Like I said, it's easier just not to have a whole schedule planned out.
No, I started. I don't know about Blake, but I stopped doing the schedule before because I just wanted to get all my schoolwork done in the morning so I don't have to worry about it later.
Get it out of the way. Wow.
The way the schedule was, since we have a bunch of blocks, it would go to like 3 o'clock until our whole school day, quote unquote, is over.
Did you get dressed for school every day, or did you do your schoolwork in your pajamas?
Well, I get dressed every day, but sometimes I stay in my pajamas until like maybe 3 or 4 o'clock.
Okay, what about you, Mom?
I get dressed every day. I'm up and I'm ready every single day. Granted, I'm wearing harem pants, so for all intents and purposes, I am wearing pajamas.
I got dressed once we got our basketball court in because we went outside a lot.
For like recess?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you did your schoolwork in your PJs?
Yeah.
How about you, Ricky?
I wore like the same clothes all day and all night.
Let's say when the summer's over, it's the fall, and school starts back up. What if, let's imagine, you get a choice, and they say you can continue with homeschooling, or you can go back to school. What would you choose to do?
Well, it depends, because my mom's been hearing all the outbreaks, and she would be telling us about it.
Yeah.
And let's say we have a vaccine, and this whole thing's starting to be like completely over, then I would rather go to school than stay homeschooled. But there's not a vaccine, and it's still, we're like in the middle of it, then I wouldn't risk it. Because there's a chance I could die, and there's a chance I can't die.
So you don't want to take the chance, and if there's a chance to take, you'd rather study and learn from home as opposed to risking it.
Because it's pretty much the same. You're learning the same concepts, and the same thing.
Interesting. How about you, Ricky? If you had the choice, what would you choose?
I'd say it depends on like what's going out on. Like if it's wrapping up, it's pretty much over, and there's no risk of going out, I'd probably go to school. again, but let's say there's still like risk and stuff and that it's still kind of out there, I'd probably choose to stay home.
Which do you think that you would choose and why?
Public school.
Tell me why.
Because I'll get to see my friends, get to play cameras with them, get to do a critter club, get to see teachers, and one of the things I hope Mr. Egan becomes a 5th grade teacher.
All right, so I'm going to hope for that too.
It would.
Guys, you are awesome. I want to thank you for coming on the show with your Uncle Vapor. And you two both have YouTube channels. I know you always want to promote that, and I think the public would love to see what you guys are doing behind the scenes. We got little filmmakers here. Why don't you tell us, Ricky, what is your YouTube channel's name?
My YouTube channel is called Mugsley1. It's MUGGSLEY1. I do different types of videos, like reacting to like Blake's YouTube watch history, video games. I used to do vlogs with my dogs.
Oh, wow. And Blake, you also are a YouTuber. What is your YouTube channel called?
Cosmo Blake.
Cosmo Blake? Spell that for everybody.
COSMOBLAKE.
And is it Blake or Balake?
Blake.
So we're going to list your social media on the TV screen, and we're going to ask people to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Oh, our guests have social media, so we should be promoting you. You are a guest.
Are you so excited?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get to 100 way sooner than I thought.
I hope so.
It's called Busy Buzzy Bee.
And what kind of things do you showcase on your channel?
Like adventure stuff, sometimes silly stuff or sciencey stuff, and mostly unboxing. But sometimes I go on like adventures and pretend to find treasures, and have like power battles and cool stuff.
Everybody, please support all these boys. They're really creative. They're putting together a lot of great stuff. We love them. We loved having them a part of our show, and we'd love to show them some love in return.
Wow, you guys are awesome and very mature for your age. Thank you so much for coming on. We are now going to throw to our sponsors.
Thank you, Pulmonary Wellness Foundation, Good Talk TV sponsor. Please visit pulmonarywellness.com to learn more about this incredible organization.
Hi, my name is Sharon Gillette, and I'm the owner of One Stitch at a Time. I've been doing this since I'm 9 years old, but it became full-time when my husband was diagnosed with cancer several years ago. And I never went back to work because I wanted to take care of him. I feel what makes me stand out is that I care. I take a personal interest in your project. I take the time to find your correct fit and treat you like a friend, not just a customer. So whether it's embroidery, making patches, printing shirts, doing alterations and repairs, or bringing your ideas to life, you can call me at 631-428-1245 or visit my website at www.onestitchatatime.co.
we are very happy to introduce you to a longtime friend of ours who spends all of her time doing good. This is Greta Guarton. She is the executive director for the Long Island Coalition for the Homeless in Amityville, New York. Greta, welcome to the show.
Welcome,
Hi,
Greta.
Robin. Hi, Don. Thanks so much for having me on.
It's really great to have you, and it's really good to see your face, even if it's
Great to
this
see
way.
you too.
It's a pleasure. Good to get together. It's been a long time.
Too long.
Yeah.
So with the Long Island Coalition for the Homeless, they do a lot of work in the community. They have a community garden. There is housing that was set up to help previously homeless veterans. It's behind their facility. They have a boutique where they help out with clothes. They have a food pantry and so many other more resources. But right now, their realities changed because of COVID like everyone else. So we wanted to touch base and see what you guys are up to now and how you're working to make a difference and how our viewers can get involved. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since everything changed a couple months ago.
You mentioned our boutique. We also have always, since we've been in this space, operated a community distribution center, free essential items for folks that are homeless or in need. Because it's set up sort of like a retail store, except that it's free, we had to temporarily close our doors to customers, which is what we call them. But we have ramped up our food program because while people don't necessarily need a new outfit to start a new job right now, they do need to eat. So we have been focusing much more of our efforts on getting food to people, personal care items, cleaning supplies, and PPE. We actually have been getting masks out to people and gloves, hand sanitizer. Our case managers and some volunteers that we still have working with us right now are calling folks that we have always been working with in the past, making sure that they're okay, finding out if they have any medical needs, and then literally taking orders for food and delivering it to them.
Wow.
So that they don't even have to leave their homes. We want to make sure that people are safe. We want to make sure that people are, if they have to quarantine, that they're able to quarantine. If they have to isolate, they're able to isolate. So we've been doing a lot of that work. Traditionally, we were doing only emergency food. That was of what people would come to us for. It was the least of what they needed. But now, you know, food is the biggest emergency.
So the focus is shifting.
Yeah. So right now, we're doing food as the primary, food and toiletries, things like that, as the primary of what we're giving out. And we're also collecting that. We're not currently accepting donations of clothing and things like that because, again, it's not the biggest need right now. But we are accepting non-perishable food donations. We are accepting PPE, cleaning supplies. And then, as I said, we're delivering it right out to the folks that need it the most. Also, a lot of the folks that we work with, some are at risk, but many are in shelters. Many are in motels placed by DSS. So their cooking facilities might be a microwave and, you know, they might have a small refrigerator. So we're also very cognizant of what we're able to give them. They have to be able to actually prepare it where they're living.
Now, are most of the food items donated directly to you?
We got a grant, so we're actually doing some food purchases, but yes, otherwise, we still have some groups that are doing collections in the community for us. They will get some friends together. One person actually, incredibly, although she couldn't have a graduation, she had to have one of those drive-by graduations. She actually had a drive-by drop-off food for the coalition graduation.
Wow. That's beautiful.
So that was pretty amazing.
Don and I wanted to put together a food drive. How would we go about it with you guys? Do we need to get permission in advance? Is there any sort of paperwork involved, or is it just collect the food and bring it to you?
Yeah, the only part of it that needs to be coordinated really is the actual drop off, because we want to make sure that we have someone who could go out when you get here, actually go outside and accept the donation from
Safely
you,
get
so
it,
you wouldn't
right.
even have to come into the building.
Got it.
And we, want to make sure that we have masks and that we do everything very safely. As long as it's non-perishable, and I will say individual to family size, we're okay. I got a donation. It was actually for the vigil, which we weren't able to hold, but someone had given us cans of tomato sauce, like 5 pound cans of tomato sauce.
Sure.
And while those are wonderful, your average family living in a shelter can't really do too much with that. So we did give that to a residential program. It didn't go to waste.
Good.
But generally we're looking for sizes that are more reasonable for, an individual to a small family.
Do you accept monetary donations as well?
We always do. We always do, and we're always grateful for them. We have a Facebook page, which is Long Island Coalition for the Homeless. We have a website, addressthehomeless.org. Folks can donate on either of those. They can donate cash on either of those, and we have a drive actually going on as well. I'll probably have to re-up it on Facebook, but we have drives that folks can purchase items that we're giving out through our Facebook page as well. So either of those would be wonderful. I'm really bad at asking for money, so thank you, Robin, for that.
And we'll put that up there. We'll put everything up there when we air everything, and people find a way. They'll see how to be able to send donations and food and monetary sustenance. And time always goes so quickly. But before we ask, I want to ask my final question to you. I want to thank you on behalf of Robin and myself for coming on board, Greta, and being on our show and showing the world what wonderful things your organization does. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you both for being such wonderful people. Honestly, you guys are just absolutely awesome.
Are you ready for my last question?
I gotcha.
I might be.
Okay, here we go. Check this out. How about this? I find your super duper duper best friend in the whole wide world that knows you better than anybody in the world knows you. And I took that person aside and I said to them, what made Greta do what she does in this type of work? Why did she get involved in doing this? What would they say?
So the person who's the closest to me does not actually know the answer to that question.
Okay, well then your doppelganger. Why? What?
I have always, my entire life, honestly, felt an absolute need to help others. I don't know why that is, but I feel like that is what makes me whole. So that's maybe selfish. I do this work because it fills something in me that nothing else ever has.
Wow. Thank you for that. That's what I want. Amazing answer. That's like right to the core right there. And thanks for bearing your soul and sharing that with us. And the world, in my opinion, needs more Gretas.
Thank you, Donnie.
I second that.
Thanks, Robin.
I'm a little misty. You're going to have to send this out.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it.
There's no
What the
crying.
heck?
Wait, no, there's sometimes crying in good talk.
There's no crying in baseball, though.
No crying in baseball.
Wow.
Greta, thank you so much, everybody. Please check out Long Island Coalition for the Homeless in Amityville, New York. Addressthehomeless.org. Check them out on Facebook. Help them in any way that you can.